We're now going to talk to Portia Berry-Kilby, who is a political commentator, on a story this week about a House of Commons toilet changed to gender neutral. This is a big debate that goes on a lot. Loodunnit, because nobody quite knows who did this. And actually, it's interesting. I worked in the Home Office. As many people know, I worked in government as a special advisor previously. And we went off to an election, came, because you got to resign to fight the election, came back, and all the loos in the Home Office were gender neutral. So that was an interesting one, which was not supported, believe me, by the political team at the time. Portia Berry-Kilby is on the line. Portia, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Peter. Thanks for having me on.
What do you think about gender neutral toilets?
Well, I think in this particular case, it's a little bit funny, to be honest. It seems a haphazard job and more a person's women fancy, given that there was a bit of tape stuck over the ladies' sign and then a sign stuck above it. So I hope the maintenance staff of the Commons are a bit better workmen and not quite so lacking attention to detail. And just seems that you've got a staffer on recess wanting to have a bit of fun or making his or her or their apparently.
Yes, don't misgender them. That would be a terrible thing. Because that would make you an awful person. We'd have to cancel you, Portia. I mean, I'm basically against single-sex schools. I'm against single-sex lots of things. But one thing I'm absolutely for is single-sex changing rooms and single-sex toilets. I just think this is a funny story, but it does illustrate a wider point, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it definitely illustrates a wider point if you have female MPs, as are rumoured, to be writing to the Speaker to request some form of inquiry into why was this done, was it approved, was it not approved, and if it was approved, will it be changed back? And I think the mere practicalities of it, dare I say, Peter, I don't want to insult you, but women's toilets tend to be a bit cleaner than men's toilets, or so I'm told. And if you've got female MPs working on the corridor, they probably want a decent place to go to the bathroom, and might not want to have to share it with their male colleagues.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly reasonable. I mean, I just think it's I think it's a bigger issue. Do you agree with me that it's a bigger issue for women than men?
I think so, absolutely. I think, and you don't want, not to be too generalistic, but women tend, as I said, tend to be a bit tidier, want to clean a place, and just the mere process of going to the loo, to be a bit crude, is different.
Well, it is, and it's a private thing that you don't want to share with anybody, really, do you?
Exactly. And of course, if this is a standalone cubicle and it isn't a shared space, there still maintains that point of cleanliness and of it being a ladies' toilet that was made gender neutral and not a guy's toilet. So once again, it is women bearing the brunt of this kind of social fad without much thought process behind it.
Absolutely, and very, very well expressed there, Portia. As always, Portia Berry-Kilby there, political commentator. Thank you very much indeed for your thoughts this lunchtime. Really interesting one there, and